Hello, viewers. I want you to get into this car because I want you to travel with me on a very long journey. Viewers, I want you to come with me on this journey because I want to share a deeply personal story with you. I want to share a tragic event that happened in my life many years ago. Viewers, this is a story that has shaped me in ways I could never ever imagined. I'm 52 years old today. If God has given me an opportunity to share with you this story, I want you to understand that this is a personal life experience that impacted my life both negatively and positively. It is a story of unexpected loss that came with extreme emotions and hard lessons learned. Guys, the hardest lessons learned. This is a story that came with the worst challenging experiences that you'd never wish for anyone living in this life. This is a story with raw emotions and immediate aftermath, challenges, anxieties, more losses, and how I navigated the immediate aftermath. This is a story of how I lost my beautiful home that I built from scratch through a mortgage, and the hardest lessons I ever learned along the way. Guys, life has a way of throwing curveballs when we least expect it. Tragic life events can get into the way of our plans and our dreams so unexpectedly that we don't get that if we don't get a way to navigate through it, it can be the end of our lives, or we can end up living a nightmare. For me, the day I realized that my dream home, my children's safe place, the place where I had built countless memories, the place I built with love, a home I lived built from scratch after living miserably in a wooden house to just own mine, just slipped away out of my life, out of my hands. Guys, this is a journey that left me filled with financial struggles, emotional turmoil, and moments of sheer helplessness. But through it all, I discovered resilience, strength, and invaluable lessons. Through it, guys, I discovered to get to know God in an extremely personal level, and I actually learned to seek His face. This video is going to offer relatable insights and hopeful messages for anyone facing similar situation, or has faced similar situation, or is still struggling in it, thinking it is over, or facing challenges just like just similar to these ones. Well, guys, let's go on this journey together because it is a journey that will give you so much hope, guys. Hello, guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Eliza. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. If you are a returning viewer and if you are new here, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, share your experience in the comment section, and let's give hope to each other. I am going to take you through the highs and lows of my experiences, the mistakes I made during this loss, and the steps I took to rebuild my life after the loss in my kids' life. So, whether you are dealing with financial difficulties or simply looking for inspiration, I hope my story can offer some comfort and guidance. So, guys, grab a popcorn, a cup of tea, or your favorite drink as we travel on this journey together. Just sit back and join me on this journey as I open up one of the toughest chapter I ever experienced in my life. Well, guys, if you have been watching my videos, you realize that I talk so much about building financial capacity before marriage, building yourself, like going to school, getting an education before marriage. Guys, I guess up to this point, you can understand why I talk so much about these topics about financial capabilities. Guys, this video, I'm going to share a part of my experience in life. I opted to use voiceovers so that I can fully express myself on this video and share everything without leaving nothing behind. I'm still not so good facing the camera, guys, but I know we're gonna get there. I hope that this video can improve, can change your life, can actually be a hope for someone out there. Guys, I am one girl who got married well with a big wedding. You've watched most of my videos. I am one person who has always wanted good things. I have never been satisfied where I am. I have always wanted change. I have always wanted more. I wanted change. I wanted good things in life. I got married to a well educated man who was actually financially stable with a stable income. And life was amazingly beautiful. At least I had almost half of what I wanted. I was working as a teacher because, like you always, if you always watch my video, you know that I am never satisfied with where I am. I went to school, wanted to work, and I wanted to drive. Had a car. My husband bought me a car. I was driving my car. I was taking my kids to school. My kids were going to some of the best schools in town. Those schools that, by the way, are attended by the rich and the who and who. And I had everything I had ever wanted in my life at that time. We had built a home, and everything was just okay because I had everything that I had always wanted. I had built this very beautiful four-bedroomed house. And guys, this is where the journey begins. While living the life I had always wanted, I had a beautiful home. I was living in my own compound with my children. Guys, this home had visitors. I had friends. Relatives came in and left. I can't remember spending a week without relatives around. We were living a life we had always wanted. There was so much parties in this house. I invited friends. I did a lot of cooking in this home. So many relatives visited. We had a big lot of friends, guys. We had done everything in that house. It was fully furnished. It was well done, painted in different colors. I was just living the life I had always wanted until a tragic event happened. While my husband was working in the bank, a twist turn of events happened and my husband lost his job. my husband so long for him to actually let me know what was exactly happening. And since I was extremely comfortable, just like we are always comfortable, women married to financially stable men, life is good. The guy will take care of everything. I was not taking care of my financial capacity. I was living the life I wanted. Well, guys, my husband lost his job and he was jobless. And because, guys, this house was a mortgage, guys, my husband had taken loans and more loans with this house. So this house had a huge mortgage loan that personally I had never even bothered to check on how much we owed the bank with this house. So, guys, yeah, let's talk about it. He loses his job, he doesn't have a job, he's still pretending that everything is okay. We still live in this house. He's not repaying the loan. He still wants his children to go to those good schools. He still wants us to continue living the life that we've always lived. I am still all over supermarkets with credit cards. My children are still going to those schools. I still eat the same way I used to eat. I still entertain friends just like I used to entertain friends, relatives, family here and there. And the mortgage is accumulating. And this guy does not have a job. He's involved with himself with some businesses with the money that was his last coin that was given to him at the bank. He is involving with himself with businesses that he was not acquitted to. He is trying things here and there to continue giving me the life that he knew I loved so much. And guys, this is where the story of my life begins. Overestimating our budget led to borrowing more than we could afford. That led to financial strain on my husband. And since I was never involved in financial knowledge, I never knew about the interest rates that accumulated so much high interest on our mortgage. Our cost of living was so high. High taxes, insurance, maintenance, living beyond our means just led to too much financial strain that we never addressed at that time. Missing payments, guys, just took a toll on my husband. And because he had lost his job, he could not afford to continue with these payments. Too much unexpected extended family expenses, educating these family members, the illness in the family that it was only my husband who had to take care of, just led to too much missing payments that ended up our house getting auctioned. Guys, if you are building your house on a mortgage, you must ensure that you do not live beyond your standard. Avoid missing payments, because if you are consistently missing payments, it can lead to foreclosure, over borrowing, and you can end up losing your house. Ignoring adjustable rate mortgages. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage, be aware that payments can increase significantly when interest rates rise. If you do not have emergency fund, unexpected expenses can actually strain your financial capabilities, and you end up not being able to pay your mortgage. And this is again what I want to tell women: do not get married that and stay comfortable that you have a financial stable man. Tragic life events can actually change the plans and everything that you have dreamt of. Ensure that as a woman, you actually build your financial stability. ensure that you go to school, learn financial literacy, because I realized that I do not understand about interest. When I was using those credit cards, I did not know that I was borrowing and they were accumulating, which created so much financial strain on my husband. And because he wanted to make me happy and please me, he never talked about it. And when the inevitable happened, then I was the one who really suffered. Me and my children found ourselves that we had to go and live somewhere away from living in our own compound and had to start renting house in a small place that was actually not our class then as we believed. Try and build your financial capacity. Try so much and build yourself before marriage. Go for higher education. Work on those higher earning jobs so that in case of an emergency like your husband losing his job or his financial of his income, then you are capable of coming in and actually helping out so that you don't lose your dreams and something that you've put so much on that could help you live just a beautiful life. Adjusting to change from a homeowner to a renter came with too much emotions and hard learned lessons. Guys, let me just tell you that the aftermath after losing my home and going to live in a two-bedroom house was something you never wish for anyone. This is the time I lost relatives. I lost my best friends, the people who came in and left my home. Guys, I learned that when you lose, then you also lose those people who have always applauded you, those people who are always coming around, applauding you. Yeah, oh, she's doing well. I lost my cars because I could not afford to own a car, guys. We had to sell so much of the things we had in the house because they could not fit in that small house. Guys, I had children who are going to school. I had to change the schools they were going to because it was too expensive for me to afford them. Our lifestyle changed. We could not afford the way we used to eat. We could not afford anything. I remember there's a time that my kids went to visit a relative because I wanted to take time to kind of adjust to the new beginning, the new life that we had just adjusted to. And I sent my kids to visit a relative, and my kids came back and told me how that relative would tell them they should not sit on the seats because they don't know how to sit on those seats. My kids were minimized from eating the amount of food that they were used to eat, and they were told, like, you, where you come from, you used to eat a lot, you have to adjust because your father does not have a job. There was so much stigmatization. We were looked down upon. And guys, I shrinked. I made so many mistakes after this because I could not just fit in. Everything was just so hard for me. Me and my husband were fighting. We were quarreling. I was seeing him as a loser. He had not managed to just, I don't even know the words to use. Life became so difficult. Sometimes I could not afford my children's school fees. I could not afford my life. And I just had to do something about it. I just decided to leave because everything was just becoming so hard. Life was hard. There's nothing my husband was doing that could bring us food. We were just left out people in the community, in the society, the people we knew, the friends we had just left. everyone actually left. We were left alone. I had this circle of high end friends. No one was calling anymore. The relatives just looked down upon us. My children were just sidelined. They were not a people who were just supposed to be somewhere in the community. And it was just hard for us to start all over again. It was actually so hard. One thing I learned during this difficult time is that once you are going through a loss, the challenges that you face just come with loss. I realized that you just lose everything. I ended up starting to live in rags. Whenever I would look at my house, it was like there was just nothing. Everything was turning to rags. We would just lose everything. I could not afford my children's education. My children kept on coming back home because of lack of school fees. Guys, we lost those people who were so close to us. We could barely afford meals, guys. My kids just stayed at home and just watched and wondered what was actually happening. I could not afford that good meal on the table. I don't know if even the bed sheets, the blankets and the duvets they slept in just were turning to rags. The worst part that I experienced is I lost another land because my son passed his exams and he was in high school and there was no school fees. And the people I actually educated ended up buying that land for my son to go to school. I lost so much and I just became useless. I just hated myself. I just did not want to see anyone and I just fall into depression. I actually fell into depression. When things are okay in your life, try invest on the right friends. Invest even in the right relatives because even relatives can be so bad when things go wrong. Well, guys, I fell into deep depression and I started drinking heavily. I woke up in the morning and I wanted alcohol. I woke up in the morning and I just wanted to sit somewhere in a bar and just drink. I looked for money, but any money I got, I actually took it to a drink. I only met friends in the bar. I only talked to drunkards because I could not face any sober person. I realized that I was drinking so much that there's a day I went to sit somewhere to have a drink. I had lost everything. I was not driving anymore. I was using public means. I just went to sit somewhere and this man came and asked me, my dear, why are you drinking too much like this? Whatever is you're going through, please stop drinking like this because you can pick up your life and start all over again. And I think that was just the beginning of a wake up call because, guys, I would drink and I would not care about my children whether they ate or they didn't eat. For me, if I had my drink and I went back to sleep, it was okay. I had lost friends, I'd lost everything. And this man just gave me a wake up call. Thank you to those friends who stood by me then, even though they would give me money just for a drink, but at least they were there. Thanks to those few who I could actually call and ask for something and they would send it. Even though I would lie, because I would even lie. I need money for food, but the money was going to alcohol. I need money to actually pay for my kids' school fees, but I just needed the money for a drink. Thanks to God that I had a husband who collected himself, and he was up to educating his children, and he was just trying so hard to do it the best he could. And as I continued drinking, after that wake up call, I started thinking of, man, I need to do something about my life. I need to actually do something about my life. I had nothing left where I was living. Everything had turned against me. I had become alcoholic. Everyone looked down on me. So I had to do something about it. I woke up one morning and I just left my matrimonial home. I left my husband. I had to go and find myself. I had to go work on myself because of my children. I had to go and do something and stop watching them coming home because there was no school fees. I had to just do something about it. I packed my bag with a few things and I just left home. I never said anything. I never cared about the kids. I just wanted to go and find myself. I actually traveled and went to another town, and I went to live with this relative. The devil was still following me everywhere I went. My blood relative actually treated me so badly. I was not welcomed. They checked the food, the amount of food I was eating. They constantly complained whenever I left to just find myself. They thought I was just too alcoholic and I didn't deserve to even live with anyone. Actually, I remember that the relative I went to live with actually even feared me in their house. I realized that their kids looked at me when I was eating. And because this was the time to look to find myself, I went out and I met this old friend, childhood friend, who accepted to actually help me out. He looked for a small house for me, a kind of a bed sitter, and he actually told me, by the way, you just gonna sleep on a mattress. You go and look for a job because if you don't do that, you're going to die in this town. That was the beginning of just picking the pieces because something had to be done. I could not continue living the way I lived when I had certificates, I had papers. Even though the challenges never stopped, but at least I was starting somewhere. Because I had done these marketing courses, I decided to look for a job as a salesperson. I knew that I was very good in marketing. And being the person I was, I always wanted much. Always wanted more. I started doing this sales job and I was actually earning. And I could feel that at least I could send something home to my husband because of my children. I worked so hard. I tried to sell as many products as possible because I needed this money. Unfortunately, in the process of me working so hard on selling these products, working for this company and working for that company, I ended up in a fake company that involved me into a syndicate whereby they claimed that they were actually recruiting groups for the incoming president, and it was a kind of a campaign that they wanted women to come into groups and kind of pay some amount of fee so that they could get loans. Later on, I realized that these people were duping people. But when I actually tried to get out of it, I found myself in a very dangerous zone because these people called me somewhere, and actually, because I still needed a drink, they waited until I was drunk and actually took my phone. They deleted everything, any information I thought I had that could actually make me, as in maybe report them to the law. There's nothing I could do about it. I lost the job. I tried to reach that incoming president, but nothing. I tried so many ways to actually reach him so that he could at least understand that I did this. I actually campaigned for him. I could not reach him, guys. I lost the job. And yeah, guys, I thought that God was just speaking because God did not want me to go to that direction. There's something that God wanted for me, and He was going to get it from me by all cost. Guys, I had to change my tactics, and this was the beginning of me getting to know God. I never gave up. I continued looking for jobs because sales jobs were always available. Selling products was always available. And since I was very good at it, I continued doing it. Guys, I reached a point that I would see that I was stable. I had a job. I had a house. I had bought things in my house. I was at least able to send money at home for my kids. I could bring my kids for holidays where I lived and stayed with them for the whole holidays. And I think it was getting better and better. Then, when elections came, something tragic happened again. The house I was living in, because of elections, there were no jobs, so I had no money. Guys, the landlord was a lady who lived in Italy who was so well off. And because I could not afford to pay my rent for about 3 months, she actually sold everything that I had worked so hard for when I had just left to come and visit my kids. She sold my sets. She sold everything in the kitchen. She actually sold my passport, my birth certificate. I don't know. She dipped all my school certificates in water. Everything was soaked. There was actually nothing. She actually sold my clothes, or I don't know if she gave them out. I don't know what happened. Up to date, I don't have my birth certificate and I don't have my passport because this lady actually took everything from me. I tried to follow up, but nothing. Nothing. She had money. I had nothing to actually follow up this issue. And up to date, I don't have my birth certificate and I do not have my passport. I don't have those documents that you actually need to hold with yourself and push forward with your life. But guys, I never gave up. During this time is the time that I had the voice of God. I went to church and I went to this very famous pastor who picked me from the congregation and asked me, my daughter, what are you doing here? And I said, I came to look for a job. He said, I see a man with kids. And he actually told me, go pack your things and just go back to your children. And I think that is the moment that God had chose for me, that I started seeking him. I involved myself in the church. I started being prayerful and I started seeking the face of God. Thanks to all those pastors who have stood to like rehabilitate me, get me out of alcoholism. I came to learn that maybe this was the turning point. It was the turning tragedy into triumph. Because guys, I found myself. I came back to my kids. I started doing small businesses. I worked so hard, guys. Managed to find land. And guys, I'm actually building a retirement home for myself. My kids managed to go to school. They are out there educated until university. They have their jobs, they have their life. I don't bring them on my channel because I'm giving them an opportunity to just build their lives fast than involving themselves with my life. My voice is going. I think I've talked a lot, guys. The first lessons learned that I have to actually again speak about is before you get married, build your financial capacity, build your financial literacy, empower yourself, be an independent woman. It is very important that you getting involved into a romantic relationship before you have empowered yourself. You are not financially stable. In a case anything happens to your spouse and you're not financially literate, you don't have financial literacy, you're not financially stable, then you are going to face exactly what I faced. Another lesson learned is financial management. Budgeting, saving, and living within your means becomes starkly clear. It's a tough reminder to always have an emergency fund to avoid over leveraging yourself financially. Go for the right investments, invest on stocks, invest, save money so that in case of such emergency you have got somewhere to fall back to. Another hard lesson learned is emotional resilience. The emotional toll of losing a home can be immense. It actually can teach you resilience and the ability to cope with significant loss and stress. It's a lesson in finding strength and support in difficulties. Legal awareness. Ensure that you understand legal aspects of mortgage before you get into it. And if your spouse is getting into it, then ensure that you have learned or you understand legal aspects of mortgages and foreclosure process, which is extremely very crucial. It will make you understand and highlight importance of being informed about your rights and obligation as a partner. Another lesson that I learned is community and support. Guys, the experience can underscore the value of community and support networks. Invest on right friends, invest in strong community with strong networks, invest in real friends, not just people around it. Say you have friends, invest in the right family members because family members can actually drain you when you end up in such a situation of losing a home. Invest in groups who can be vital in navigating when you are in such crisis. Adaptability. Losing a home forces you to adapt to new circumstances and find alternative living arrangements. It teaches flexibility and the ability to rebuild and start anew. When you find yourself in such a situation, kindly just adapt to the reality and get into a cheaper place very fast. Adapt to that life so that you can start all over again. You can find a job, find something else you can do to actually grow yourself. Don't get stuck there, getting involved maybe in alcoholism, maybe you are emotional stressed. It is important to start all over again and start building your life and don't stay down there crying over what you have already lost. Prioritize needs. Shift your perspective on what is truly important in life at that time, helping you prioritize your needs over wants and focus on what matters. Stay away from getting involved into things that you can't afford at that time. Accept that the good life is gone, the beautiful big home is gone, and adapt to just dealing with what is needed at that time. Like, for example, if it is your children's school fees, it doesn't matter where you live in. There is always hope. If you continue working hard, you can actually end up owning another home like the one you lost. While these lessons are hard earned, They have led me to personal growth and a stronger me. They've made me to become more resilient outlook on life. If you are going through this, remember that seeking professional advice and support can make a significant difference. Get involved with the Word of God, get into a local church for counseling. Most of it all, get into prayer, get into your knees and pray, because this God of ours is a God of second chance. I started my YouTube channel so that I can have another financial income. I started my YouTube channel so that I can be able to share such experiences with you, so that when you are out there and your experiences what I've experienced, then you have a few tips that you have learned that can actually help you through the journey. Thank you so much for coming to watch my videos. Please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe so that you can help me share more of such videos. Thank you so much and bye.